Do you have a vocation, a career, or a job? Is your life's work a passion or a paycheck? Executive coach Dan Miller says that as many as 70% of white-collar workers are unhappy in their jobs, but continue to spend more time at the office. He offers life-changing ideas in his new book, 48 Days to the Work You Love. Dan, good morning to you. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, good morning.
Why do so many people find themselves in jobs that they absolutely hate?
A lot of times they make decisions that put them on a career path with less thought than what they put into where they're going on spring vacation. Kids choose college majors, or circumstances or family situations simply get us started on a path. And we really need to think about it more. Why am I on this path? What am I doing? Not just to create a paycheck, but where's my life going? Because it is part of a life plan.
In the book, you differentiate between vocations, careers, and jobs. Let's begin with a vocation. What is a vocation?
Vocation is the big picture. We really need to look at that. That should include concepts like a person's purpose, mission, destiny, calling. So it goes way beyond just what you do daily in the job. Career then is a subset of the vocation. Anything you define as a vocation, if you want to help reduce pain and suffering in the world, or whatever noble cause would be part of a vocation, there ought to be 10 or 15 careers that would fully embrace that.
I see.
Job then is just the smallest component. That's what you do daily to create a paycheck.
Why do so many people define themselves by their job titles?
It's just a cultural thing that has crept in, where we define a person's worth, education, all those things based on what they do. I mean, that's how we interact socially. We meet, hi Russ, I'm Dan. The next question, what do you do?
Right.
And we make a lot of conclusions based on what a person does.
I can see a lot of women out there saying that's more of a guy thing than a girl thing. Is that true? Do most guys think like that more than women?
Guys are probably a little more susceptible to the social connotations of that, but it's true for women as well. We're defined by what we do, and we have to get past that. It'd be wonderful to ask somebody, what kind of person are you becoming, rather than what do you do?
Yeah, nobody ever asks you that.
That's
exactly right. Okay, let's have some news we can use here. If you find yourself unhappy in your work life, what do you need to do to change?
You need to first look inside yourself. 85% of the process is looking inward. What's unique about you? What are your skills and abilities? What are your personality tendencies? What are your values, dreams, and passions? From that, you create a clear focus. Then 15% is the application. But then you can look where you're in the driver's seat, rather than just being a passive recipient of who's hiring, where there are opportunities, where the trends are. That's a recipe for disaster. Look inward, and from that, create a clear focus, and you'll attach the work to you love.
You have a chart here to kind of help us define if our lives are out of balance. Kind of walk me through that.
Okay. What happens is we tend to make work such an overriding central focus of our lives, so that everything else becomes dependent on that. Where we live, where our kids go to school, all of those things. What we need to do is recognize work is simply one tool for a successful life. Deposits of success made in other areas, if it's physically, spiritually, socially, personal relationships, personal development, those are equally as important. Work is just a tool. It also, in that model, then removes the focus on work being the center, so that if something happens to work, jobs will come and go, we can't control that. But if a job disappears, it's not the end of your life. You're not starting over. We simply find something else to fill that one gap in an otherwise successful life.
The title of the book is 48 Days to the Work You Love. Why 48 days?
48 days. I got tired of having people say, I'm frustrated, I'm miserable, I want to change, and I see 2 years later and they haven't done anything. There has to be a timeline. 48 days, this was back when 48 hours was becoming popular. I knew we could get some name branding recognition.
Right.
But biblically, God used it repeatedly, 40 days as a time frame to dramatically change individuals, nations, and countries. We're in America. I added a few days for holidays and weekends, but 48 days is enough time to look at yourself, look at the options, create a plan of action, and act. And
to the real skeptic out there who is saying 48 days, no way, you say, can be done.
Can be done. If they go into day 49, it simply tells me they're pretty comfortable where they are.
All right. Dan Miller, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming in. We are coming right back. You're watching The Early Show on CBS.